Hello everyone, coming to you from Los Angeles, California, the home of the Dance Art and Life podcast. I'm your host, Danya the Gypsy, and this is a judgment-free zone. I'm looking for stories of dancers, musicians, and artists of all walks of life. Their hard work, struggles, highs and lows of their careers, but most of all, the life lessons they've learned following their passion. Today's guest is a fantastic person, and I had the privilege to work with her on my dancing. And she was Russian national Latin champion, Russian national tendance champion, Russian national standard finalist, U.S. national pro Latin finalist, WDC ranked top 6 pro Latin in the world, and she was U.S. national pro rhythm champion as well as world pro rhythm champion. And if I forgot something, I apologize. Elena Grinenko, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
If you want to add something, because I just took it from your website.
So far, so good.
Yes?
That's good enough.
Okay, that's good enough. Fantastic. I have a star today on the podcast. Very, very good. All right, Elena. So, first question. Where were you born?
I was born in Soviet Union, Moscow.
So directly in Moscow.
Directly in Moscow, but it wasn't Russia at that point. It was Soviet Union.
Soviet Union.
Yes.
So it was.
So I'm a Soviet Union baby.
Soviet Union baby. Got it. So, and you were born, and right there you decided to be a dancer, a world champion dancer.
Not exactly. It was actually my mom who got me into dancing because.
Is all the Russian moms, they think just, okay, my kid just born and now she will be a dancer?
I don't know, but I mean, you personally know a lot of Russians.
Oh my God, I'm such a bad host. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Here you go.
There you go.
Tasty.
Very good.
I don't know. I think a lot of Eastern European culture, when they put kids somewhere, they kind of always assume it's serious.
Yeah.
So I don't think they don't put us into 25 things at the same time where you might enjoy this,
That's
this, and this,
true,
and
though.
this, and then eventually end up not succeeding on any of them. So I feel, at least my childhood, the parents were a little bit more tunnel vision of this is what I think the child wants to do, this is what I want my child to do.
Yeah.
So sometimes those things clash.
Did they dance?
No, neither of my parents danced. But the reason I mentioned my mom is because she was the one who wanted to dance when she was a little girl.
Okay.
But her parents never supported it.
Yeah.
And I usually say she lived her dream through me. Luckily, I happened to be the right type for it, so I'm double jointed.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I was always a very active child. I guess in America it would call having ADD.
Yeah.
So dancing was a perfect thing for me, where I can just come in, run around, wiggle around, and
so
that's how it started.
how old were you when
This
your mom
mic is
decided?
keeps moving towards me.
It gotta be close.
Right.
Close.
I was
something's
7.
wrong.
You see, it is. It's not.
Hold it.
Hold it close to me, and then you gotta fix it. Yeah. Okay.
It's fixed.
I was 7 years old, so usually 7.
And prior to that, like
No, prior to
just
that, I didn't
kindergarten,
dance.
regular
Kindergarten,
childhood.
Yep.
and
Yeah, normal, regular, fun childhood.
besides the HD.
Well, you only find out about those things in America. You'd be well, I've been never diagnosed, but I'm just assuming.
Got it.
But
Well,
how
you were just
kids
a kid
behave.
with a lot of energy, right?
Too much energy.
Okay.
Too like.
So it made sense. Well, because of the dream of your mom, it made sense, the dancing, but it made sense to put you somewhere where you can
where
use
you could
the energy,
be
right?
Active, right? I guess age 7, because at that point it was quite typical to bring your child somewhere to participate in something once you go to a first grade.
Got it.
There are kids who started earlier, but usually if you ask people, it would be around 6, 7, 8, something like that. Yeah. So that's how it started. It was my mom.
Okay, but were you excited when she did that, or do you remember? It wasn't as so long time ago. It wasn't that.
No, but what I remember is actually my mom got me into Bolshoi theater auditions because during Soviet Union she had a very good job. She worked in a store that calls Детский мир.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, during Soviet Union, it was very difficult to buy anything.
Yeah.
So when you have such a good job, you might have connections, so forth. So it was in the center of Moscow. Bolshoi Theater is in the center of Moscow. So I got in.
So the store was in the theater or close by?
No, close by.
So it wasn't part of the theater.
No.
But people came to.
People come to those stores. You make connections because you can sell them certain things which not on the shelves, not available. So you make friends like that.
Welcome to Russia.
Welcome to Soviet Union.
Soviet Union, not Russia. Soviet Union.
And what I remember is getting on that stage because they, I guess audition kids, right?
Yeah.
So and
but was it before she brought you to the
before ballroom dancing?
So it was like 5-6 years old.
No.
Same age.
Same age. This is what it started with.
Got it.
So in her head, she was thinking ballet.
Got it.
So I did the audition, which I actually didn't do anything. The person came out, took a centimeter, measured me, looked at my bones, and literally said, "We're taking this girl." So they didn't even ask me to run around and dance to the music. It's like your body type. And I do actually believe in that. In sports, if you look at gymnasts or swimmers or dancers that have a specific body type.
Yeah.
The ones that are most successful fit that profile. Of course, there's
but
always...
I never heard that though before.
Yeah,
like,
so of course there's always exceptions, but they are so rare.
Mm-hmm.
So rare. So if you're double jointed, you're definitely a dancer or a gymnast. That's just no question about it.
And you mean double jointed, like you can
it's that when
really...
when your joint goes this way and then that way.
Yeah. I see that. Yeah.
There you go.
That's a perfect Latin arm, by the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or my knees or my hips.
Right,
so that's right there.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was against the ballet. So my dad used to play hockey and figure skated.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that grueling school of, training. And he goes, "No way. That's not going to happen. My daughter is
so
not..."
he wanted you to be a hockey player?
No. But he just said, "I don't want my daughter to be handicapped by 20 because Bolshoi Theater, I mean,
it was famous for that.
It's a torture."
Yeah.
So my mom's friend at work, her daughter was ballroom dancing. And she's like, "Oh, ballroom dancing, what is that?" So we came to a competition. She loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
We found the club that was very close to our house.
Which club was it?
It called at that point Klub Юность.
Which later became what?
I guess, I don't know. I don't know why I said in the beginning. So it called Klub Юность.
Okay.
And they had classes there for beginners.
Got it.
And that's how I started. But then...
And like you had like what, 60, 80 kids in the class, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
It was
big,
huge.
Big classes.
Yeah.
Big classes of tons of kids. But did you ever read a book, Outliers?
Mm-mm.
So it's by, I think, Malcolm Gabels. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. He's talking about successful people that are out of the box, right? And he talks about they're not successful just because. So they happen to be at the right time, at the right place. Saw the opportunity, took the opportunity, and then put 10,000 hours into it. And then you cannot fail. But it's not just putting 10,000 hours into it. It's being at the right place. It's all comes together. So it's an amazing book. If you guys like those things, read it. It's great. I happen to be at the right time, at the right place. So I started
double jointed.
Yes, that's also, you see, one of those checkpoint. I started in September, maybe 2-3 times a week, whatever, an hour class, learning just the basic steps.
Did you have privates in the beginning?
No,
or not
no
just
privates.
group
It's
classes,
just
right?
group classes.
You were thriving on group classes
Right.
only.
Right.
And you had a partner already. They
I
put
had
you
a
with,
I had a partner, which my mom was friends with some other moms. I came with a boy, but at that point,
from the store.
you only taking, oh no, he was my classmate.
Ah, classmate.
Classmate, yeah. So we're
Different connection.
different connections, right? So we know each other since we're like 4 years old,
Yeah.
right?
Is he still dancing?
No, he's never danced.
Really?
Never danced.
So he stopped.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story how he
Okay,
stopped.
got it.
So he was literally there because moms decided.
Yeah.
It was not his thing, right? I danced maybe for like a month and a half like that for fun. And then what happened is one of the boys who was already, so I'm in Club Юность, he's in the Pioneer House, Dom Пионеров.
Yeah.
So it's a part branch of that club,
Got
but older kids already
Gotcha.
dance there, or more advanced kids.
Yeah.
So I'm 7, he's 8. He's been already dancing for a couple of years,
Got it.
and he was already a Moscow champion.
Got it.
He lost a partner. The part
Well,
I
he
don't
split.
remember.
He didn't lose.
No,
he split.
okay.
Split.
So, but I don't remember.
She's still alive.
Yes, I guess. I don't know. But she either outgrew him or they just split up. That part I don't remember.
That happens. Yeah.
And he was on the shorter side, and I'm also on the shorter side.
Yeah.
So they couldn't find him a girl his size,
His
because
size,
at that point girls grow faster.
Faster, yeah.
So they couldn't find him a partner, and they're like, okay, we don't have any other choice but to go to this Club Юность
Yeah.
and
To see what's
if we
available.
can find some talented girl
Yeah.
that could be your partner. So after that fun was over. So basically after maybe only a month and a half just learning some basic steps, I got picked
you
out.
fell into...
Yeah, so they came in to watch a group class. They came up to my mom and they said, we think your girl is very talented.
Yeah.
Here's this boy who's already dancing for so long. He's already titled. So we want to try if your daughter could be his partner. And my mom said, when do I sign up? So basically the opportunity presented itself. And my mom said yes. So from that point, only after a month and a half for fun, it became work.
Yeah.
So I had to go to dance every day.
Wow.
I had to learn.
But was it still in the Unis club, or
no?
you went
I had to
the other
move
one?
to the other one.
And was it further away from your home? Or?
It was further away. So to the first one I could walk. That one I had to take a bus.
Got it.
And if you guys are wondering, during Soviet Union, 7-year-old gets out of the house after school, no parents, crosses few roads, takes a bus. Takes a few stations bus, walks to the Pioneer House. So you like quite independent at that age. You just know where you're going. And if they can make it, they make it. Most of the times they can't because they're at work. If it's a later class, they could. So I had to learn, class, right? First class. So it was waltz, quick step, cha-cha, samba, jive, varu. I don't know if you ever danced Soviet Union program. So it was varu and polka.
What's varu? Polka, I know.
Right. So we used to have...
It's Czechoslovakian.
Right. Polka. We used to have... it could be German, could be Polish, polka, could be Russian. It's worldwide.
It's just 2 steps.
Right. We used to have 3 programs. Latin, standard, and Soviet Union folk. So I had to learn all of those 7 dances.
Wait. So he was competing in Soviet Union folk as well? You were competing in that?
It was part of the ballroom at that point during Soviet Union. Yeah, it was together. And so here's the thing. Now it's a mid-October. Yeah. And they telling me that Moscow Championship is in mid-December. So I have only 2 months to learn all of this stuff.
From September, you starting 0.
From 0,
and
0.
you need to dance the... Yeah.
So 0, only maybe 10, 15 classes. And then suddenly in October, I get that partner who is already competitive. I got to do it 100%.
Yeah.
So guess what? After 2 months, first Moscow Championship. 180 couples.
Wow.
Second place. Second. But, oh my God.
But that's amazing.
That's it. So that's how my career started. It literally went...
Question. When they came with the boy, did they measure
No. Ballroom dancers don't do that, but ballet people do it.
Let me adjust a little.
Oh, I moved it. I moved it because I went for the glass of wine.
It's okay. Just. And now, there we go.
Here you go.
Better.
All right, it's
All right.
higher now too.
So they did a measure and
no,
took measurements.
well, I mean, you
and
could see it anyway.
Oh,
but
please.
please.
Come on. You're not that good. Come on. No, you're pretty good. Very good, actually. So, okay. So you danced the first one, right? How long
Yes.
did you dance with this guy?
Maybe couple of years.
Couple of years.
Yes. So
And you had like
going back to that boy who came with me, he quit right away.
really
Yeah, because like the parents did it because
you
we
already
came
were
together.
So
Yeah, we came together, and now he didn't have to be there. That's it. He's
Got
like,
it.
okay, I'm out.
I was interested in you, 7 years old. Good for him. You're
Yeah.
still in contact with this boy, or
No,
not at all?
No,
right?
I mean, it was so long time ago, plus the immigration. I mean, I still am in contact with quite a few people from my school, which is amazing. But no.
Got it. So, what kind of successes did you have with this first serious partner?
So at that point we were, and I don't know if you know that, that's it,
Yeah.
classes. So
we
were
had D. We started with D.
right.
Though.
So we were, I guess, national finalists in that category together, which was
yeah.
the very first
Got
one
it.
to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty
It's
cool.
like bronze in America, like starting.
kind of bronze. We had more categories.
Yeah.
And the cool part about back then system, you couldn't just jump the class. You couldn't just
You need
decide,
to have
I'm going to go
points.
from newcomer bronze to full bronze
Exactly,
to silver. You had to earn the points.
And 1 point was for one couple that you beat, right?
It was depending on what type of competition and how many couples. So there was
Got
a
it.
formula.
Gotcha.
So if you, let's say, win your Moscow championship, you get right away 6 points because there's 200 couples.
Yeah.
But if you win some other event when there is only 12 couples and you first, that could be only just one,
Yeah.
right? But
In Czechoslovakia, we had DC and so on and so forth.
Right.
But you needed to have 250 points.
yeah, I don't
and
remember
6
how many.
finals
Yeah,
to get to the next
I don't
category.
remember what the
And 1
formula
point was just one couple.
Okay, 1 point just for participating or what?
No. 1 point when you in front of one couple, you have 1 point.
Okay.
You beat 20 couples, you have 20 points.
Okay. Well, here
Plus
you go.
some bonus points when you're in the final. You had
Right.
5 plus points, whatever.
Yeah, it was something very similar. I just
Yeah.
don't remember
yeah.
what the ratio was.
But this
you
is
know?
like you like.
You come in with
competing.
that book. It's your
Yeah,
Bible.
yeah,
It's your
it's your
Bible.
Bible,
And they
yeah.
put a stamp on every
Exactly.
single comp. Don't lose that
yeah.
because there was no computers to retrieve your
Exactly.
information.
Yeah. If you lost that, well, but the partner had one too, or you had
What
it
if
together.
you lost them together? I don't know.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah, you know.
But it was 2 books for
2 books for each
partners.
one. Yes.
Yeah.
You switch the
remember.
partner. You had to
I don't
register.
even know where I have mine. Like,
Oh, I have
it's,
no
it's
idea
somewhere,
where mine.
Somewhere.
It would be so cool to see it. I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
no idea where mine is.
And the picture with Elena.
Yeah, it was a legit document.
It was. Still is, I guess. I don't know. Do they still have
I don't know. I have no idea.
it? Mhm.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know.
you dance with this boy, and then what led to splitting with this boy? Did
I
he
bit him.
bid him, physically bid him? How old were you?
No, I guess 10 at that point.
10. And you bid him because he was mean to you, or?
Yeah, we had this New Year's party where everybody chips in and you bring food. You know,
wait,
you bring
in the dance
in the
club.
club,
Okay, dance
right?
club,
It's like a
dance
New
club.
Year's party, parents
yeah.
party, kids party.
Gotcha.
So everybody is like, it's a poor country. You're like, okay, you bring a salad, you bring
Yeah.
whatever, you bring this. Olivier.
Russian
Specifically, funny story. He was bringing Olivier, and he had this miska,
Yeah.
the what is
Bowl.
it? Tupperware,
Big
the
bowl.
bowl,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What exactly happened? It's like, as a joke, he was wearing that as a hat, and I just jokingly knocked it off, and he got pissed. and he cornered me.
Knocked it off,
Knocked off the ball from his head. Because
but was it empty or with
It was
salad?
empty. It was empty.
Ah,
It was
okay,
already
good.
empty. It was after the party. We
Got
were
it.
all going home. He was going through one hall, like actovый zал, into
Yeah.
a sports hall
Yeah,
where we
yeah.
were changing. And I just jokingly knocked it off.
Mhm.
And he got really upset and he cornered me. And he's like, I'm gonna, I don't know how to say, подножки, when you're like trying to trip someone.
You put
Yeah.
foot
And you
in
try to
front
trip
of-
him
yeah,
until
and
you
trap-
fall.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm gonna do this until
Yeah.
you fall. And it continued for quite a long time. And I got upset and I
And
bit
you're
him.
like, you know what? That's it.
It was painful.
Yeah.
I mean, here you go. And after that, of course, we split up.
Well, when he went crying to his mama or what?
Yeah, because I bit him pretty hard
Arm, hand.
here.
Hey, people, be careful on the coachings, huh?
Yeah, sorry.
She bites.
That I bite.
She bites.
This is the only time I did it, but that happened.
Got it. All right. So you split with him because, and then your.
Well, obviously, it's a huge conflict, right? So
Yeah.
You know.
So the
it's-
parents were talking.
The
and,
parents were
and-
talking. I mean, it was fine. It was still not like I bit him, but it was painful, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were just goofing around on the lessons. Wouldn't want to dance with each other, and then eventually.
Okay,
coaches,
so after you bit him, you still danced with each other.
you still come
and-
in, you still
But
practice.
it's like.
But at that point, you like right now, a lot of couples or especially parents are so involved into partnership. Back then, it was coaches.
Yeah.
So they literally would say to a parent, "You stay away." Parents were not allowed in the ballroom.
Yeah.
So they would see us only if it's a special event that they're invited to a practice or
Exactly,
it's
yeah,
already a
yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
So they were not involved of what's going on inside of the room.
At that time, but I remember going to German Open in the 2007.
In Mannheim?
No, already in Stuttgart.
Oh,
Eight,
did you ever
9,
been to
I don't know.
Mannheim?
No,
Oh,
never.
that was
never.
my
I heard
favorite
stories.
competition. I was so
With
upset
the-
when it was closed.
Was it the glass ceiling that was there, or
It was just a beautiful hall with the live music. When
Yeah,
I
yeah.
finally made their pro final, for me it was like heaven just happened.
yeah, yeah,
It was my dream
yeah?
come
But
true.
on the German Open, you just saw like
Oh, that's
Russians that
right, that's right. They had this glass between
Exactly,
the
yeah.
bar and the
Mhm,
ballroom.
mhm.
Yes.
So when when I went to Stuttgart, you just saw the parents like they like more than coaches.
Mhm.
They just
Yes.
they fucking killing everybody around
yeah.
the kid, and they even like, no, you need to stretch, you need to go this, and I'm looking at it and I was like, oh shit, crazy, man.
Unfortunately, yes.
Crazy.
Unfortunately, some parents get too involved. I believe.
And the kid's crying
Right.
on the competition. He
Yeah.
goes with tears on the floor. He goes like,
Right, he's still dancing,
and still
right?
dancing and going, right?
Been there, done that.
Oh, you too?
Oh my God, my mom was one of those.
Got it.
Yes.
Got
But I feel there should be a balance between supporting
Yeah.
your child with what you have
Or living your dream through the child.
or pushing them too hard, because I've seen a lot of talented kids with too involved parents. When they get older, they quit. They literally go, I had enough of this. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a shame because they got over pushed. There's
Yeah.
very small amount of them to go, okay, mommy, daddy, thank you very much. I'm separating and I'm doing it now on my own,
Now
my way.
I'm 18. I decide for myself.
Okay.
Because it's like in Eastern culture, it's like, okay, I'm 18 now.
Right.
You cannot tell me shit.
Once
right?
you,
But
for me, it happened a little earlier, 17, once you finish high school.
Like, you have such a talented people, right? And they became 18, 19, and they go like, I'm done with that.
I'm done with
And
that.
they were
Burned
like
out.
world champions,
Yes.
finalists, and they
Yes,
have
and they're
such
amazing.
a bright future in front of them, and they just quit. And I was like, why are you quitting? Like, you so good, right? That
Because
would be
it was
my
too
dream
much.
to keep going. And he goes like, no, I'm done. I don't like it. What? Like, you don't understand. But I mean,
They
now
do.
I
You see, if
understand,
you wear
but-
their shoes,
yeah. it's
that's what I'm
different.
saying. I'm one of those small percents who just decided I'm doing it anyway, but I'm doing it without you.
On my terms, yeah.
On my terms,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way I want it. And it's really hard.
But you are a person that, you have the drive.
I
right?
guess, yes.
So it's you know what I mean?
Yes, I guess. That's
what sign
it
are
is.
you?
I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
I'm
Fire.
a Sagittarius and I'm a dragon, so
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
So yes, it's tough. Yeah.
You are tough.
My
know.
mom was a tough cookie. I was a tough cookie. But, if we would not be for her, I honestly wouldn't be who I am. It was a very difficult journey. But...
okay, so prior to dancing, did she, was she tough on you at home as
Yes.
well? And you gotta be
yes.
clean your room and do homework. I don't know.
Okay, I hope
Put away the toys and I don't know.
I said I hope I'm not gonna cry, because my mom just passed away recently.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to.
But this whole conversation, right? If you want the truth, right? How hard it was. It was hard. My mom used to beat me up.
Yeah.
Verbally abusive until I was 13,
Mm-hmm.
until I started fighting back.
Yeah.
So after that stopped. But again, I'm sorry, mommy. I love you dearly. But that's what made me who I am. Life was a fight, and you just go through it, bulldoze through
Lena,
it.
I never heard that from you, but I had exactly the same story until I was 13.
Yeah, I don't usually say it, but that's it. My friends know it. I guess now internet will know it. It is what it is. Like I said, I still very much appreciate. She was brought up in Soviet Union, even prior generation. It was normal.
Probably
it was normal.
Worse off than
yes,
you
her
were.
dad used to do it to her, and it just rolls over generation to generation until somebody decides to make a change. Like me, no way. I tell my children daily I love them, but you can't help it but still wonder that kids that do go through the hardship become very successful because most of them are fighters.
Yeah.
They're like, I'll do it no matter what. No matter what you tell me, I'm going to make it.
Yeah.
So
wow.
that's that.
I never knew that about you.
Like I said, this is the first time I said it online.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's
all right. On the lighter note, you beat the guy.
Then
you were silly. Well, I guess it's lighter note, right?
Right. That's actually also not anywhere. He gets all the good cookies.
Thank you. Because I feed her wine. We drank before 5 glasses. No, I'm joking. I'm
not
joking.
true.
I'm joking. This is the first glass. Okay, so you were goofy on the practice because something broke.
Yeah, we just didn't want to dance together. And that point, that was not our decision or the parents' decision. It was coach's decision. And they didn't want to split us up because we were a successful couple representing their club. But after a couple of months of us,
just being silly and not training.
Not training, but doing things on purpose to it's just silly.
Yeah.
So eventually we split. They're like, okay. That's
it doesn't have a future.
It doesn't. It does. It's not.
And in Soviet Union,
work.
that time they're looking for success, looking for people that work hard and are serious about it.
In everything, I felt that culture is serious about everything.
Yeah, you can say that.
I don't remember. Okay, you do silly things with your friends, but I don't remember doing any hobby where the teacher wouldn't take that as serious. Like. I signed up myself for piano because that's what I wanted to do. My mom wanted me to dance. I wanted to play piano in the same club unit. I want and
so
signed
was
up
it the
myself.
club artistry, art
yeah,
school,
so they
something?
had all kinds of instruments, singing, dancing.
This is so interesting to me because Soviet Union had all those programs to encourage the artistry and everything. it's so bizarre to me. And like those, and they were for free, right? It was government sponsored.
No,
Some of them were,
we paid
right?
some monthly fee to be a part of that club.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Got it.
Yeah. So, but I don't think it wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
You know. So I think at that point, because there were so many kids participating, this is how they were paying teachers, because it would not be a one child. It would be like 20, 30, 50, depending on the class. Piano was a little bit different because you have to sit down one-on-one with the teacher.
Got it.
Right? So, but again,
Do you remember how much was the private lesson?
I don't.
You don't know?
No, I don't. I mean, I think
So
the
when
private
did you-
lessons started way later.
Got it.
Way later, at the age 13 maybe, somewhere there.
Okay, so you were 10 when you split with the guy?
Yeah.
And then at that moment you decide to play piano, or it
No.
came later?
I decided I want a piano when I went at 7.
So
in
when
the
you
same
just
class.
came in.
I just came in, I saw that there is a piano, and I signed myself up. So I
How
went
long
there.
you play piano for?
So for a year, I played, and I had a wonderful teacher. Loved her because it was already abusive in dancing.
Yeah, gotcha.
And she was really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so your
And then
coaches
what
were
ha-
abusive too?
Well, everybody.
Everybody
What are you
is so good.
doing? This is wrong. Blah blah. You know.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of like. Yeah, I
it's
understand.
very. Do it again. Do it again. This was shit. Do it again. Do it again. They don't give you a candy to do it better back then. That didn't exist.
Do they do now? In
I
Russia?
think things changed.
They learn, yeah.
They learned
also.
it because I believe there should be a right combination between too tough, which was my childhood, and what's happening here. They're like, oh, here's the price for participation. Just because you showed up.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that either. That's too nice.
Yeah.
Oh, honey, you don't want to do that? That's fine. Let's do this. You don't want to do. So there should be a middle ground between too strict or
Too
give your
loosely.
child complete
Yeah.
freedom, because okay, I have 2 kids right now. They don't always want to do it. It's like my kid actually chose to play piano. I had to make a deal with him and to say, okay, I'll get you a piano. But here's the deal. You're going to take a private lesson every week.
And you will
for
practice.
at least a year.
Yeah.
And you would practice. That's the only deal we're making.
Did he say yes?
You cannot tell me, and he's only 7. I said, you cannot tell me in 2 months, Mommy, I don't like it. Because piano is not cheap. Private lessons are not cheap. We're doing it because you want it.
Yeah.
But for a whole year. He goes, yes, I want it. I'm like, do you understand what whole year means? I had to open the calendar, show him the whole thing. And I'm like, that's how many. And after that, we can reevaluate if you want to do it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you're actually good at it or not. Because this is, for me, how I feel it should be. Yeah. If my child is really good at it, then I'll probably would try to talk them into it. Yeah. Because they're already
because
doing
you see
great. If they are still struggling and they don't like it, then this is not their thing. They should try something else. In the meantime, I'm sure they have to try this, and this, and this. Yeah. But it has to be some balance. I'm not gonna beat him up for not playing piano if he decides in a year to say, okay, I tried it, not my thing. Ooh, closer, higher.
Okay, so you played piano for a year from 7 to 8. Then at 10 you split with this guy, and then did you find another partner, or you were?
Yeah, of course you find another partner. So
well, I don't know that. Maybe you say, you know what? I don't like this stripping stuff. I don't know. Come on.
Yes, we split up. This is where you start changing clubs, because sometimes there is no person for you in that club. And so we had to switch the studio. I got a different partner. With that partner, I didn't have quite as successful career. So we were in D class already. That's that second one. It was okay. Yeah. We were like maybe in semifinal.
But it was like junior there. 1 or something, right? Or kids 1 or kids 2
go
something.
Age 10 to 12, right? That category. So it was okay. Was not great. And after that,
So when you changed the club, how was the trainings? Did it change more?
It got tougher.
Tougher. So longer hours, private lesson maybe,
It
or
was
not yet?
better. It was a better club
Mm-hmm.
with more.
What was the name?
Tatiana Kostina was the head of it. What was the name? Вдохновение, maybe. I
have
don't
no clue.
know. Tatiana Kostina and Kochetkov were there. So
Yeah.
they were like, at that point, one of the most successful clubs in Moscow
Got it.
that produced a lot of good couples.
Mm-hmm.
So my first club, had more kids. So when I made it to that other club, you go to dance classes with older kids as well.
Yeah, youth and almost
so they
like
all
young
get
adults.
so they all get mixed.
Mm-mm-mm.
And in a way, it was tougher because you now in the back of the flock, right? And then they put the best ones always in the front, and you're just running in behind trying to copy whatever.
Figure out, yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's the best because they say if you want to be rich, be friends with rich people.
Yeah.
If you want to be a good dancer, go to group classes with the good dancers because it inspires you.
And it the
makes you
whole
work
energy,
harder.
Yeah, the whole energy just pulls you with, right?
Exactly.
So,
Or other way around. You can get intimidated and say, okay, well, it's too much. I don't want to do it. So it's like it works for each kid differently. Yeah. So I'm always like, I want that.
Yeah, you obviously were
Yep.
the other side. Yeah. Got it. So you danced with this guy how long?
Also, couple of years, let's say first 1, 2.5, this 1, 2.5, something like that. So, and then another opportunity presented. So at 13,
while you were dancing with him.
Yes. So there was another boy in that same club. He was already 16. I was 13. So at that point, that's a big difference.
Yeah.
Right. So he really liked me.
Okay, wait. Liked you
as a girl.
Because you started to develop. Or you were developed already?
Not really, but I mean, listen, whether you developed or not, 13, 12, 15, people already, boys like girls, girls like boys, boys like whatever is politically correct right now. You're starting already liking someone.
Well, you have them.
That's the age where... That's the age. Teenage age. Like you want to start dating.
Just asking.
Okay, so...
Did you like him?
No.
No.
But what happened
was he creepy?
No, he was just annoying. Anyway.
In teenage language,
I was 13,
creepy.
He was 16. 3 years difference
so
at that age.
But girls like older guys, right? Usually.
When they get older.
Okay, got it.
Or younger guys when they get even older.
I wanted to say that just now. Her mind is twisted. Okay, so he liked you. That's why he wanted to dance with you?
Yes.
Not because of your skill?
Because he was way better.
So you were...
So let's say...
Okay, wait.
I'll give you the numbers because you will understand them. So I was really good at E and then average at D with that other department.
Yeah.
I never danced C class.
You jumped to B.
And he already was a Moscow champion in B. So he would take a girl who is 2 classes lower to dance.
Because he liked you.
Because he
not
liked
because
me.
of the skill.
No.
Were you offended?
No.
You were like, that's the opportunity.
That's of
right
course.
Time, right place.
Yes. Right? Of course.
Got it.
So I started dancing with him. This is where...
And he wanted to date you.
Yeah, but that was
you never did.
No, that was the annoying part.
I
agreed to partnership, but not to dating. He used to tell me one day we're going to get married. I was like, no way.
Oh, shit. That's creepy, not annoying. That's creepy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Got it.
So anyway, but...
How long you dance with him?
Oof. Also, Nair, a couple of years. Because here's the interesting part about that partnership is that's when Soviet Union split up.
Okay.
And for the first time, we had a Russian championship. And I danced a youth category, 16,
because of
18.
Him.
Because of him. And on the very, very first Russian championship, Vlad Pavlov, Sveta Polyanina were first. And I was maybe barely 14. I was already second.
Wow.
And that's when the walls dropped. and we went to Germany to dance a world championship.
Yeah.
This is where you could really say
You want to higher?
my career took off.
Pull it up.
Pull it up.
Push. Yeah,
Push.
There we go.
It's falling. See, your mic doesn't like me.
You intimidate me. That's right.
Okay. There you go.
Oh, charge it up. Okay. Better?
So that's where the serious dancing started.
So at the point of the first championship you danced with him, were Soviet Union split already, or it was still Soviet Union?
No. That's what I'm saying.
Got it.
It split up, and first Russian championship in youth category, we were second, and for the first time in my life, I get to go abroad to compete.
So how was your first world championship with him? Was it youth?
Yes, youth. It was a disaster.
Dance-wise or
everything,
what? Everything.
Costume-wise, shoes-wise, tan-wise, level-wise.
Oh, you became green when you were tanning?
No, because we didn't have any of that stuff. So you finally, the doors are opening. And if you remember your first German championship, which was what year?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay,
it was
mine, that was like 92 or
no,
93.
I was like 2000s.
Oh, here you go. So 92, 93.
It wasn't Mannheim, it was Stuttgart.
So, here you go.
Open, right?
92, 93, after Soviet Union, we didn't have the
Anything.
proper anything. So you walk into this arena, you think you're cool, right? Because in your country, you're like, oh.
Second.
And then these doors open and you're like, holy shit, I actually am really bad.
Yeah. So you didn't have a 10 at all?
What?
You didn't have a 10?
What's a 10?
The self-tanning
situation. No, it was like super white and my costume was like, ooh.
No, I remember one time, Swiss championship, my partner, we did Latin, and she had an accident with tanning.
Ooh.
She became green, like literally green.
That happens from sweat.
Oh
yes.
my God, this was
right.
Green.
But if I'll come back to that moment, this is that really eye-opening moment of actually seeing what it is now worldwide.
Yeah.
Where you go, wow.
What place did you do there?
I don't think we made it past the second round because in Europe competitions, there could be 300, 400 couples. I mean, they were big.
But was it the Worlds or was it the German Open?
No, World Championship. It was in Köln, Germany.
Köln.
Yeah. So, and then him and I also went to German Open in Mannheim. I think we danced in like 48, maybe.
But with 10 then, right? You already had a 10.
Oh, yeah, already had a 10.
Of course.
Already had a 10.
Well,
yes.
I need to make sure. That
Yeah. Already had a 10.
Got it. Perfect.
Yeah. So that shifted
the perspective
of what ballroom dancing is and actually how great it is, how unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because we used to, even with Michael, with the partner after, how did we receive an information? We didn't have any. We would watch those VHS tapes, which you rewind back and forward, and we would just copy.
Yeah.
We would copy. Our coaches, who just finally went outside as well, will take some lectures, and then they'll come in and they go, new technique. It's not a new technique. It's just finally the information started flooded.
You have the information.
Have the information finally, because when you go to first Blackpool, there were like 3.5 Russians there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in 10 years, there's a half of Blackpool.
Yeah.
From Eastern European countries, because it got developed. People
and
got
then 10 years later, Chinese came and so on.
Right,
Asians,
exactly. And then the immigration to the United States came we kind of took over.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But that was that first moment of life changed. Because we started traveling.
What is your best memory from this trip?
None. It was just a disaster upon disaster, feeling embarrassed.
Bad memories.
But I guess.
Okay, you felt
Okay,
embarrassed
okay.
because what?
The
You weren't...
best memory, I guess, is your eyes are finally opened and you're like, this is what I need to do. So
Yeah.
you learn from this experience and you leave with, okay, things needs to change.
Yeah.
Right? But as far as the experience of how it was, how we got there, how we left, it's just everything was just a disaster.
Well, you felt bad because...
You're a poor kid from former Soviet Union that doesn't know what he's
Who
doing.
wasn't from our side of the...
Yeah, but when you make it to... okay, right now the system is a little bit different. Right now, anybody can dance a world championship. Back then, there was only 2 first couples of the country. So when they come in, then you're saying, who wasn't? Okay, but there's tons of Western European countries that were competing that they were very good at it already.
Yeah.
So we just didn't see them.
Okay, but they were part of Soviet Union too. So how did they...
Western European countries.
Western European.
Germany,
okay, yeah, well,
Italy, Denmark,
yeah.
Norway. I mean, you name it. There's tons of countries there. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. So it was embarrassing for you in terms of like, I'm not as professional as
I thought I
all.
was, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it was just one of those moments where you can check the box on this was turning point.
Yeah.
So, which is a good thing again.
Okay, how long after the first Worlds did you still dance with this guy? You said couple of years, right? But after that, like, did you do another one or?
No, because we danced before the first. Him and I used to dance Soviet Union championships. So my last year dancing with him was that. That's why I said maybe I was 14. He was already 17. So the year after, I already danced with Michael Natochi, with who I came to United States. So
Whoa. So you were 14. You split. You said you were.
Now
14.
Now I'm 15.
And then you started.
Now I'm 15, dancing with Michael.
And Michael.
Natochi.
He's Russian.
Yes, also from Moscow. We both have Ukrainian last names because of the roots. But yes,
that's what I'm
also,
asking. Like,
yeah. My grandfather is Ukrainian. My dad was born in Kharkov, Ukraine. It's just I don't have relatives there anymore. So I'm a mix of Russian, Ukrainian, and Moldovan. My mom is Moldovan, which is also Slavic nation. They just don't have their own country.
Yeah.
So with Michael since 15, our first nationals in Latin, we were in the final, but maybe 5th or 6th, I don't remember. So for me, it was a little bit...
But it was still youth.
Still youth, because Michael was only 1 year older. So I competed youth for like 4 or 5 years because of older partner and now this one. So 5th or 6th, I don't remember. And then the next year, and it's already 94, that's when we won our national championship. Then we'll also dance standard. This is where the whole 10 dance comes into. So that was, we were national champions in Latin.
Would you say you were 10 dancer or Latin dancer or standard dancer?
So we were one of those even couples where we, same year, 3 different national championships. We won Latin. We were like 3rd in standard. And we won 10 dance. So we didn't have that gap of Latin is really good, standard is really bad.
Or standard good, and Latin bad.
And as a matter of fact, in Europe, we had better results in standard than in Latin. So with Michael, talking about that Mannheim again, because it was like the biggest comp at that point in Europe. So Michael and I got to the point of making semifinals in youth in German Open. Which was at that point
big,
huge. We were like one of the first Russian couples that
to make it
made those.
Because there was also like at that point it was still like super political.
Well,
like
politics change.
Yeah, but I mean, the Soviet Union collapsed. It was few years afterwards, right? They already. People knew each other from the western part of Europe. Right?
All right, so we were less known. I don't think it had to do with the world
not in politics,
but like But yes, we were less known
Yeah.
because you know what it is. When you're top couple, you skip first rounds, you come out on that dance floor,
yeah.
you feel very confident because everybody knows you.
Yeah.
So they, as a judge right now,
It's okay.
I can say that I see them walk out and it's a quarterfinal. I don't even need to see them dance.
Yeah,
you mark that couple because
you saw him so many competitions.
because you just know, and you need time as a judge to find the other couples that deserve to make that next round. So
Exactly,
you quite often skip those top couples.
Yeah.
So sometimes they'll be like, oh, they didn't really dance well in the first round. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't see it.
yeah.
Right? Because in the final, they're going to kick it anyway.
Yeah.
So you know it.
Yeah.
So it's just happens. So yes, when you're a new kid on the block from a new country, nobody knows you. So you have to dance from a first round.
You gotta grind it.
You gotta do like 5-6 rounds to make that to that semifinal. You don't skip anything, but it does feel good when next year you skip the rounds.
Yeah. Because you have a star or two.
You have a star or two, and you're like, oh my god, I made it! I arrived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you danced with Michael how long?
Ooh, long.
Yeah,
Michael and I, because the other partnerships, it's all kids, it happens, it switches fast. Somebody outgrew somebody quit dancing, some parents didn't get along.
Somebody bite somebody.
Or that. Michael and I danced, so we started dancing, I was 15 and split up, I think I was 24, so almost
but
10
already
years.
in US.
In US, we immigrated together.
Okay, so how old were you when you came to US?
21.
21
21
what
years
was
old.
the reason to go?
It was interesting situation, I guess, talking about being at the right place at the right time.
Okay.
Even something bad happens. When something bad happens, sometimes turns into amazing opportunities. So what happened is I had an issue with meniscus. It was pretty bad.
Right or left leg?
Left one, this one. It didn't just cracked. It cracked in 2 places and went completely loose.
Because you're double jointed, that's why.
I don't know, maybe. They had to take it out.
Oh, shit.
So...
was it did you do surgery in Russia or?
Surgery in Russia, yeah.
Okay.
With a doctor that had to do only with sports people.
How old were you?
21.
So
that's,
okay, got
that's
it.
what I'm saying. That opportunity, what happened is we had a couple who used to dance in our club.
Mm-hmm.
They immigrated to America a few years before. They bought their own studio and they started calling us to invite us to work in America.
Got it.
And at that point, our opinion about America was couples immigrate there, they disappear. We don't ever see them anywhere in Europe. They don't compete. We're like, we're just so young. We don't want to disappear. We still want to compete. We're like, we don't want to go to America. Mm-hmm. That was our view at that point. And when I had to do a surgery, so they were very persistent, which was a good thing.
Who was persistent?
The
couple that wanted
to invite us. So after I did the surgery, we obviously were not practicing. I need a few months of recovery, and we made a decision. And I said, okay, you go, see what it is. What does it work, doesn't work, what's happening there.
Check it out, basically.
Check it out.
What city was it?
East Brunswick, New Jersey. So it's like next to Princeton, right?
Yeah.
So he came and he was here for a couple of months without me, and he said, I don't know, it looks pretty cool. I don't see why we cannot dance here. I came in and we still didn't promise our boss that we're going to sign a contract. We literally said,
Was it his own studio or was it franchise?
His own studio. He used to be in Fred Astaire, but when he bought the studio, he got separated.
Gotcha.
So we came into independent studio. So, and at that point we said, so that was already 1998. I came in May, the end of May. And we said, we're going to try, because in order for us to get a visa, we had to turn pro. And just think, I'm 21, he's 22. At that point...
But that's a thing in America. If you
right now, yes. But back then, no. Nobody turned pros at 21 back then. Now it's more common.
Mm-hmm. What I meant was to work or to, like... I don't know if pro-am was a thing.
Oh, pro-am we didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
We had no idea what that was. We worked
So, but okay,
with
so
kids.
they told you need to turn pro because of work, because of what?
work. Because at that point, the rules were if you're an amateur, you're not allowed to work for money. Yes.
Okay.
Now it's not the case, but back then, which is honestly,
so that was the reason to turn
that's
pro
the reason
because
to
of
turn
the
pro because pros are the ones that get paid.
Yeah.
Amateurs don't.
Yeah,
Right now
yeah.
it got mixed.
Yeah.
But back then that was the rule.
Yeah.
So we turned a pro here. We started dancing quite successfully right away. But what shifted again, circumstances. You see. We didn't sign the contract. We said to our boss, give us a half of a year. We're going to try, see if we like it. And if we do, then we'll sign a contract. And in April 1998, economical crisis in Russia happened when, as far as I remember, ruble dropped from like $6 rubles per dollar to like 30 in one night. It was really bad. And we were dancing USDC in Miami Fontainebleau. If you remember that? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember. I heard it. I heard
my
of
God.
it. I heard of it.
So it was a really big comp with a lot of international couples.
Yeah.
It was also a ranking comp at that point in the world. And tons of our friends came and they're like, oh my God, we lost you. Where are you? We're like, we're in America dancing pros. They're like, what? So they started telling us how hard it is in Russia right now. And that tipped the scale where after that competition, after hearing what's happening, we're like,
stay
that's
here.
it. We're staying.
Here. Yeah.
We're staying. America. Yes, all the way.
So you signed the contract with the
Sign
studio.
the contract, apply for the visa, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, so you split with Michael when you were what?
24.
24. What was the reason?
He wanted to dance with his girlfriend.
Always this girlfriend shit going into way in the professional career.
Honestly, I'm sorry, Michael, if you don't want that information to come out, but he was...
She's sorry, but she's saying it.
But I'm saying it anyway. Because I respect people like that.
People's choice.
No, people's choice and not giving you a bullshit answer. But literally, so what was happening is we used to be married.
With Michael?
Yes. So when we came to United States,
But you were together?
Yes.
Okay, and then you got married because it was easier to get visa or because...
we got married back in Russia. I was 17, he was 18. We were in love.
Oh.
Started dancing together. I was 15, he was 16.
So cute.
Yeah, my first love.
Got it.
So immigrated to America together, but we know each other since we're kids. So like here we are in this different world, different life, and it was hard.
Yeah.
At some point,
to figure out the differences, cultural, all this, learning about business.
Yeah, so there was a point in our relationship where we're like, okay, what are we doing? We're too young, So we split up as husband and wife.
Okay.
But we keep the partnership.
Got it.
Because we had common goals. We wanted to achieve them. It's an interesting situation where, I think only dancers do that. Probably. Yeah. Probably. Because you have something in common that you want.
Yeah.
So anyway, we started dating different people. Him and I used to do Argentine tango together. And he's into Argentine tango right now. So we used to go to Michael Natochi. He's really very
where
famous.
He in Chicago?
He lives in Moscow. He went back to Russia. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is it the guy that does the kung fu or something?
No. No, it doesn't do
because on Instagram I saw some dancer Argentine tango.
No, he just does. He just purely does Argentine tango. But basically what happened, we dated other people. Him and I go on the weekends to Manhattan to do Argentine tango. Not that we're in a
into
different
club.
into
like
classes,
yeah.
club. Him and I were always interested in authentic dances, so we used to take West Coast swing, Lindy Hop. I mean, you name it.
Just to further educate yourself.
Afro-American classes. We
Mhm.
loved it, so that's what we used to do.
That's cool, actually.
And then
That's
at
really
some
cool.
point, because I was in a new relationship, it's weekend
With a non-dancer.
with a non-dancer. I was like, wouldn't
Was
that
it
be
difficult for you and with the non-dancer to explain to him what's going on? I mean,
Yes, eventually that didn't work out either.
exactly, because it was like, you kind of like,
Well,
half
it's-
naked dancing with another guy
exactly.
and spending 3 hours on the floor.
Plus, he's your ex-husband. I mean,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, it's
And you're
it's
rubbing
a
on
toughie.
each other and this
You
and that.
you gotta be a confident man to look past that. That's that.
Did you find a confident man to look past that?
Oh, right now I'm single.
People, if you want to date Elena Grinenko,
no.
leave a comment below or up or where.
Oh my God.
How do you do?
Seriously.
On Spotify, I leave a phone number for Elena.
No, do not.
No, this.
Do not.
No, I don't.
Absolutely
I'm joking.
no.
I'm joking. So, good looking guys. Okay, so are you at that point where you like younger guys or still older guys?
Are we
Because
switching
you
to a
said-
different subject?
No, it's a part of the podcast. It's a very important information.
I like-
You started.
Okay, I like people for who they are.
Okay.
Age is just a number.
Yeah, but you still didn't answer because you
No,
said
I'm
in the
answering.
beginning of the podcast you say when you get a little older you like older guys, but when you get older you like younger guys. So
Well,
what
that
stage
seems
are
to
you
be,
at?
Seems to be the trend, right?
Yeah. What stage are you at? Same age guy.
Okay. I would prefer let's say what I'm gonna answer your question.
I love it.
I'm gonna answer your
Go
question.
on, go on.
I would prefer somebody in the range of plus minus 5 years.
Plus minus 5 years. So
right? Because
25 to 35, okay? Because she's 29.
yeah, right. Because of it's just your mentality, the age, the era you grew up in, things you can talk about and things like that. Too old, there could be misunderstandings. Too young is also could be
Well, this is
misunderstanding.
America, so you can have a friend with benefit, like a surfer boy, 22 with a lot of stamina, I mean, you're a powerhouse, ADHD,
Sure.
you said that, you never know.
Sure.
It works out. You go to the beach a lot, no problem.
All right, he's looking for a 25-year-old
Yeah.
boyfriend.
For
He's gonna leave you his phone number.
Are you labeling me on gay?
I don't know. You were just saying it.
No. For you.
Oh my God.
Okay, so with Michael you split. The other guy didn't like that you danced.
All right, but I didn't finish my story
I'm sorry.
with Michael. So because we stopped doing a lot those Sunday weekend classes together quite often because I would be busy, I wanted to do other things with the person I was with, he asked me at some point if he can take his girlfriend to those classes, and I said yeah, of course, no problem. And
Well,
I guess
girlfriend was a dancer though.
she just started ballroom dancing. Yes, so
That wasn't a smart move, was it?
well, it's not my decision, right?
Love is love. Yeah.
But they started going together.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this is where the shift happened because him and I were on equal terms in terms of practicing who asks for what. And and our partnership, he literally told me this. He said to me, all is happening right now is Lena this, Lena this, Lena this, Lena this. And he goes, and I want to do something that it's Misha this, Misha that, Misha that.
Got it.
And that's when he danced
So you were
with
the
that.
initiator of those classes, where you want to go?
What I'm
or-
saying is it's I guess that different respect of a female when you're on equal terms versus the girl who is in awe of you.
Got it.
Of course. Of course. I mean, I can't even blame him for it. I mean, we all love that. It's not even a guy thing or a girl thing. So she's dancing with someone who is that much better and she is in heaven, right? And he likes that energy because
Well, of course.
so he decides that So he splits up with me and starts dancing with that girl.
Argentine though.
Nope, ballroom.
Ballroom. Okay.
Unfortunately,
and competition too.
They never went out on the competition.
Got it.
That never happened.
Gotcha.
But this is.
And you were still in New Jersey at that point.
Still in New Jersey, and that's after that I danced with Max Chmerkovsky. Right.
How was that going?
So
how did you find him in the first place?
he was dancing amateurs, and I was already pro. So we split up somewhere about the same time.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
You're same age with Max?
He's 3 years. Okay, by calendar he's 4 years younger. By age it's really 3 because I'm a December baby. He's a January baby.
Yeah.
So my friend Rita Algara. So she calls me and she goes, I heard Max split up. We're going to this competition. You're going to ask him for a tryout. I'm like, I don't know. I want to take a break. She goes, no, you're going. So literally.
Did you knew him prior?
No, I didn't. Like, I knew who he was, but we were not in the same circles because he was an amateur. I was a pro.
Yeah.
So
so at that point he was like what, 21,
21.
21. Yeah.
So it's 24, he's 21. Literally 30 minutes later, there's a door, like knock on my door. She's standing right there, Rita, and she goes, get dressed, we're going.
Okay. So he was in New Jersey.
He was also in New Jersey, so we went to a competition in New Jersey. I was there, he was there. I came up and I asked for, like, if he'd be interested in tryout. He said, well, but I'm not turning pro.
Okay.
I was like, okay, here's my phone number, right?
Yeah.
So I called him later because coaches, at that point, actually, Vp Kotovta, I was like, okay, I tried with this guy, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And like, I have this guy that is really good, but he's an amateur. He doesn't want to turn pro. And she's like, no, we don't need that. But who's the guy? I'm like, oh, it's Maxim Chmerkovsky. She's like, oh yeah, no, you're calling him.
Yeah. You gotta.
You gotta call him.
Yeah.
So I called again. So we eventually had a tryout. But what are you going to do in the situation? I don't want to turn it back to amateurs. He doesn't want to turn pro. So I kind of just offered, let's just practice. And then we'll look for partners. In the meantime, we don't lose time and keep practicing. Keep practicing.
Keep the craft going, yeah.
Keep practicing led to him turning pro and going to Blackpool.
Interesting.
Right. So
but only Latin. At that point, you stopped
only
standard,
Latin,
right?
Standard was stopped before we even immigrated to United States.
Got it.
So that was done.
So did you feel, just a side question, did you feel that Latin was your thing? I know you said that you were pretty equal with standard and Latin, and sometimes you had standard even better results, right? But
Latin.
you felt that Latin is your
for me
your
it was
thing, right?
much freer. I can do more things.
Yeah.
Like more, because standard for me I find is the hardest division, because you have to be as one. Yeah. And in Latin, the couple could still have their own individualities and dance together.
And it's also like in standard you don't have a lot of space for errors. Like there's just so much more.
That's why I said it's a harder division in my personal opinion. But when it's done right, it's so beautiful. Like if I watch really good standard, it gives me more goosebumps than actually watching Latin. Because it's just knowing
you can tell,
how difficult it is and how in unison they move and how they make it happen is amazing. So, but I wanted more freedom.
Got it. So you were growing to become an American woman.
Well, listen,
I
immigrated.
Yeah, I
right?
immigrated. Now I'm American.
Yes, I am.
There
actually.
we go. Congrats.
Thanks.
So you started with, how long you practiced before he said yes?
We started in March, so 2 months.
2 months.
2 months.
And why did he change his opinion?
He was trying to turn me back to amateurs. So he went to...
Because he is like a strong mindset personality, right? He's like really like...
Yeah. Very...
Yeah,
my way or highway.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was trying. So in the beginning, he tried to go through in DCA and ask what the rules are. The rules were pretty rough. Like you can go back to amateurs, but then you cannot compete for a year. And if I would want to
for a year,
something like that, since the last competition, and then if I want to go back to pros, there's another 2 years. It's like it was possible. But it was not possible if we want to compete now.
There was trade-off.
Right. And then we tried to go through Russia, actually. So we talked to some people there because, I mean, I have a dual citizenship. But over there, it didn't work out because there was other people who already had
involved. And
Here we are talking about politics. So here's these 2 guys from America going to come in and win a Russian championship.
Exactly.
It didn't quite work out. They said, no, thank you. So, and then it was a due line to register for Blackpool. So we either register and go, or
register as a pros.
Register as a pros.
If you turn amateur, you cannot.
Yeah, it was at that point.
It
didn't. I wouldn't be able to compete anyway. Exactly.
Got it.
So, and he decided. Okay.
But it was his decision, yeah?
Obviously. I mean.
Max, good job.
So, and then he said to me, the only thing I don't want to do is I don't want to compete this bullshit Rising Star.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, national championship Rising Star in May, at that point in Emerald, is happening in 2 months.
Yeah.
We go, we win. And then you're no longer allowed to dance Rising Star.
Exactly, yeah.
I know it sounded bold, but that's exactly what happened.
Fantastic.
So our first competition was National Rising Star in pros. And it was
it separate though? Like they had separate Rising Star competition?
At that point, yes. At that point, yes. So in USDC, it's used to be together. Then it somehow moved around for a couple of years, and now it's back together.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know what was happening.
So they had a Rising Star separate competition for the...
Yes, and it was at that point during Emerald Bowl.
Wow.
So we won that event. And
where was Emerald at that point? Still on the airport?
Same place. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe not. I don't know, but I think the same.
Yeah. So you won the Rising Star on the first competition, and then you went to Blackpool.
And then we went to Blackpool. We had a really bad result in Rising Star. We actually didn't make a semifinal.
So you did dance Rising Star on Blackpool still?
Yes. Yeah, but that's so it's a worldwide
on international scale.
Yeah, international we still would wanted to do it. So we were kind of hoping we're going to be in the final, and then suddenly you don't make a semifinal, and you're like, what just happened?
Yeah.
So you see, those things do happen. But then we danced Open.
The Open, yeah.
So in the Open, we made it to 48. Wow. Half of the couples they didn't make it there. So our career from there went skyrocketing because Blackpool, we were in 48. International, we won Rising Star and were in quarterfinals. Yeah. And then UK, we danced in the semifinal with people.
The first year.
In half of a year, we did that.
Shit.
So so we actually split a place, 9th place, with Michael and Joanna at that point. We were 2 new couples that made a semi because finals were Brian Watson, Paul Killick. I mean, it was insane. We were like these new kids on the block in a complete shock.
Dancing with legends.
Yes. Yes, because that's going back to that Soviet Union. Those are the people that I used to watch on those VHS tapes.
That you got illegally in Russia from the store where Mama was working.
Right. And now I am dancing with them in the same finals. Yeah. It was unreal. That first year of experience.
Would you say it gave you more energy to stand there with those people?
That first year when we made it into that semi-final, after that, the whole maybe next year, making every single final, it's literally, you would probably assume we were on drugs because we were just so happy.
Yeah.
It's like, woohoo! But then the problem is, when you make it so fast so soon, you get stuck there.
Yeah.
And the other 2 years were much harder because you just can't break through. You have to wait in line. So, and this is where it gets like, okay, what do I need to do to break through?
What do you think is this waiting in line about in dancing? Because I hear it from many people. What describe your understanding of this
my
waiting
understanding
in line?
waiting in line. For example, Brian Watson and Carmen, right? Were they the best? Absolutely. Could the second couple beat them? Not really. So you have to wait until they're retired. So it's not they're waiting in line. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that just needs to happen. Rarely it does happen when the second couple gets better, or maybe second couple retired and third retired and they still standing there and new blood comes in and at some point there is a rivalry. So this is your moment. Okay, I need to go, I need to retire, or I still gonna say it, but then people gonna be, but these guys are already so much better. You see what I mean? So it's like whoever your coaches are, your mentors are, to make that decision. Okay, this is time to go. Because if I continue that way, then these kids who are 10 years younger than me are eventually going to beat me.
Exactly.
But that's for me what waiting in line is. I don't think it's necessarily political. It's more of where you are.
No, I wasn't even pointing on political, like your understanding of waiting in line. What
so you can make it to a certain point, and like us, we had a breakthrough into that semifinal.
That's amazing, man.
Like, I mean, it was just bam, completely.
Were you surprised though?
To make that semifinal,
Was Max surprised, or
we were okay. In UK, the marks don't get put on a wall. You stand outside and waiting for your number
to be recalled.
Right. So people that know they're gonna make it are all standing on deck area. They already have no jacket on. They're warming up. They're preparing.
New set of clothes or whatnot.
Some of them are changed with the costumes. We are standing in the corner behind, still having our jackets on. We totally,
because you don't expect.
We didn't expect that result. So when they announced us, they had to wait for us to get on that floor, because they had to take the jackets off,
because
run
didn't even
to the
comprehend that.
But the coolest part about that, when you finally make it there, 30 seconds later, every single person comes up to you and they hug you and they go congratulations, because they know
what
how
kind of feeling,
important it is for you, and you're this new kid on the block, and they're all very happy for you. So it's amazing.
And you were what, like 25, 24, 5?
I just turned 25, so that was UK. I just turned 25. 22. He was the youngest pro, I guess, in that.
My man.
So Joanna, I think, is about his age. So they were like about around the same age. Yeah, it was insane.
How long was she dancing with Michael at that point? Not long, huh?
Not long. We were two new couples. Because Max actually had a tryout with Joanna.
Okay.
And then she chose to dance with Michael.
With Michael,
Yeah, so it was all happening at the same time.
Man. So interesting.
Yeah.
So how long you were dancing with Max?
4.5 years, something like that.
And you said you had a breakthrough, and then those 2.5 years were like...
We got stuck.
Did you argue with Max?
Yeah.
Because you have both strong personalities. What sign is he?
He's a Capricorn.
Oh shit.
Capricorn.
Those people are like, you know. He's tough. He's tough. You know, it's very opinionated, very hard to argue with. But on the end of the day, hard to argue with because he has a point, or because he's just
wouldn't barge in. Right, so it'd be hard in terms of finding middle grounds. In the sense of it's like.
So what did you do at that point? Were you a smart woman and you were like manipulating him into stuff?
We had moments.
Yeah,
we had moments like every couple who goes through the fighting period. Sometimes you just like, okay, whatever. Sometimes you go at it. Sometimes it gets to the tears. Not gonna lie. Sometimes there were situations where actually Max, after we split up, told me, he goes, I knew I was wrong, but I couldn't admit it. So next day for the practice, he would come in and he's like, we're doing it this way. I'm like, this is what I said yesterday. He goes, no, it was my idea.
Yeah.
So we had it. We had it all.
Yeah.
But
Were you also together with Max?
at some point
At
we
some point?
dated. At some
Yeah,
point
yeah,
we
yeah.
dated. Yes, which made everything much more complicated.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
ugh, yeah. You know, I don't want to say don't date your partners or date your partners, but because it works for everybody's different. Some people get married and they're together.
Yeah,
Many
yeah, yeah.
times, for some people, it makes it
More
much more
complicated.
complicated
Because
for us.
you take the conflicts from the floor
Right.
home, and
Right.
you hold
You-
the grudge, and it
yeah.
just not
As
good
much
for
as
the,
you want to
yeah.
separate it, it just
It's still
it doesn't
kind of
It
intertwines,
just
yeah.
doesn't. Yes, that's the hard
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, overall, I think our partnership was quite successful.
Yeah.
So it was tough, but we did it. Woohoo!
Yeah.
And that's that. No hard feelings.
So you split, like, who split with who, or was it both?
I think it gotten to that point. I remember us having a conversation on the balcony that we just can't do it together,
Mm.
and that was that.
But was there a okay? Was it because you were stuck dance wise
We were
on the
stu-
competition,
yeah, we were
or
stuck.
was it because you were arguing?
Both.
Both.
We got stuck result wise, and we had a different opinion.
Which was what, like finals, America?
Yeah, 2 times in a row, 7th in UK. You know, it's like it's one of those
So
results.
you couldn't like
Right, we
get
could, yeah,
to the
one
final.
mark, or
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
9th in Blackpool when there's 8 couples in the final.
Fuck.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like pulling teeth. It's hard.
Would you say, in retrospect, that if you would wait a little bit longer with the split, you would have make it into the final?
I don't know, because I think we got to that negative part of the partnership
Mhm.
where it was harder to solve our problems.
Yeah.
And when it's there, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
See,
Even in retrospect, like,
right, because people feel your energy.
yeah.
People coach you. People
Yeah.
know what's going on,
Yeah.
and that affects you as a judge.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So it's just, it is what it is. And I don't think so. It's either some miracle need to happen and suddenly somebody's on a different wave. But by the end of my partnership with Max, me personally, and it already has not to do with him, but me as a dancer, I felt a little trapped. I didn't feel me.
Mm.
I felt step to the left, wrong. Step to the right, wrong. You know, even with all those high results, I guess the stress of that competition, the desire to make it into that final rolled over into too much stress.
Yeah.
And I am an extremely free-spirited dancer. And
Yeah.
when I can't dance the way I dance,
Yeah.
like even if I look at my tapes back then, was it good? Yes, it was good. But was it
Got it,
no,
got it,
like
got it.
when I danced with Tony and I watch my tapes with Tony, and it's American rhythm, it's a little bit different.
Tony
Dovolani.
Dolani. Got
Yeah.
it.
Even through the tapes, I see a different energy
yeah.
because I was free. So that I think also was a factor of it just wouldn't.
Mm.
You suddenly
Go ahead.
you suddenly can't just change. You can't wake up one day in the same situation and decide I'm going to be a different person,
Got it.
right?
Got it.
So you go when you
You split, but you split, like, you didn't argue and split. You kind of
During-
like had the
No, we had
conversation, and
we had a
you-
normal conversation and decided that we can't.
So it was more logical than like
Right.
emotional
Right.
split.
By
Got
that
it.
point,
Mhm.
yes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So, and then what? You started with Tony then?
And I danced
Rhythm.
with Tony.
And you
Rhythm.
changed to rhythm, yeah?
Yes.
So how long were you single, I guess, dance-wise single, between Max and Tony?
Couple of months.
Couple of months. So you were right away looking.
So
but were you
I
looking?
wasn't. I actually wasn't looking. I was at that point considering to be done.
At 25.
Yes, somewhere 26, no, I mean, like, okay, 24, I started dancing with Max. We danced for like 4 years. Yeah, so 28.
yeah, I mixed it up
Right,
with
right.
Michael.
So I'm
Yeah,
about
28.
27, 28.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I don't know, I may be done.
Got it. Now, question. I know you have 2 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
At any point in your career or at any point up until this moment, did you ever thought about having children?
No. Here's what happened to me when I was very young. And I think I even have it somewhere on paper. I made a decision that
What are we talking about? Very young.
goals. Like I was maybe 13.
Okay.
So I already chose that dance would be my career. And I literally put dates by age. This is when I achieve by this age. This is when I achieve by this age. And
Do you
in
still
that
have the paper?
I don't. My mom used to have it. And it's been written there that I'm going to retire before I'm 30. And somewhere at 35, I'm going to have kids. So the kids were not during my career. So that decision was made a long time ago.
Wow.
And guess what? The power of thought. It pretty much all happened. I retired at 29 before I was 30. So, and I had kids.
So with Tony, you danced 1 year, 1.5.
Competitively, only 1 year, from a world championship to the world championship. A lot of people don't realize that because we did so many shows.
Got it.
But
So they think you actually were longer,
or much
dancing
longer.
Yeah.
So, but we did, but competitively, literally from Ohio to Ohio. That's it.
That was the world's?
Yes. Yes. So, and
but in between, like every week, probably competition show and
competition
like
shows.
It was intense,
we made it to Dancing with the Stars, so that was
that's how
lot.
I wanna talk about that.
That was a lot. So
too.
we in 1 year with Tony, we did more than I ever did.
So before with Max, you didn't have Dancing with the Stars encounter.
Yes,
because
we did.
obviously Max is on the.
We did. They approached us when
Just
I
push,
see it.
push
it up.
There you go.
So they approached us when we were still competing during a first season, and we said no because
you didn't want to go into the TV or something.
No, we didn't know what Dancing with the Stars is. You see what I mean? So it was just the first season. It's a TV. You're heavily competing. You have a very tunnel vision. Like
you have
and then at that point, it's a first season. They don't have a budget. You have to go on your own money to LA. Why would I do that for?
Really? Like,
first seasons they didn't pay the housing. Yeah. So and
now they're making.
Right. So, and then when we split up, he went and did season 2. And I remember having a conversation with him and I said, well, you're not doing anything. Season 1 went really successful. Why don't you join? Now it's still Dancing with Tony. And then I joined already season 3 and season 4.
But so Max went for season 2?
2. And I think Tony was already on season 2. So when I started Dancing with Tony, I didn't know he's also auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. Yeah, so, but anyway.
But as a dancer, not as a judge.
As a dancer,
he became judge later.
Yeah. Of course, as a dancer, yeah.
So you were dancing just like a little bit longer than a year because the championship to championship is a year, right?
Yeah, it's a year.
So it's like you started slightly before. How long did you dance with Tony?
Before my first world championship?
Yeah.
5 weeks.
Fuck, man. So did you know rhythm at that point?
Okay.
Because you encountered rhythm at some point, right? In America.
To my advantage, because of Michael. Do you remember how I told you we used to go and take authentic classes?
And this and that.
So him and I were those weird kids on the block where when we used to go to London, we'll go to the Oxford Street, which is considered like a Broadway street, and take all those classes. And kids our age, they're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, we're learning Lindy Hop. We learned Square Rumba, which was American Rumba, West Coast Swing, Argentine Tango, like all those things for maybe like £5. £5 versus paying £50 for a lesson at that point. And they were like, you guys are weird. And we loved it. So I learned a lot of that even in Europe. So when we immigrated to the United States of America, him and I continued doing that
Yeah.
and take classes that are interesting to us. So I had a very different vision of what American style is before I came to United States. I thought it would be more authentic, but I understand things progress. It became more of a competitive sport. But and then obviously immigrating here later on, learning American style curriculum and teaching it.
Yeah.
So you already have a knowledge of all the basics. But no, of course I didn't compete in it.
Got it.
When Tony and I got together, it was actually a really funny story because
he approached you?
Yes, he called me. And it was not the first time he asked me to dance with him. And
so you were dancing with Max and he
I
already approached you?
He asked me when I split up with Michael to dance with him. And I said no.
Why not?
Well,
was he kind of famous or what?
Actually,
at
Tony, when I came in, he was second in the country in American rhythm already in 98, being very young. And then the wave of immigration came in through Eastern Europe, and he switched to dance Latin with all of us. And actually, on one of those Rising Star events in USDC, him and Tatiana was second. Gavrline and Elena Logishev. You probably don't remember. But Andrei Gavrline and Elena was second, and Michael and I third. So Tony won.
Got it.
That
Latin.
Latin from both of us.
So he went from rhythm to Latin.
Mad. We were so mad, but he did.
Why?
He did.
Why you were mad? Because he wasn't that good?
Of course, no, because we all wanted to win. No, every single one of us wanted to win. It was a good final, actually. If you take that final, there were a lot of couples who eventually made it. I mean, we were all rising stars.
So he approached you several times.
Well, you'd say twice, right? First time between the partners, and now I'm between the partners. But I was like, I don't know if I want to compete. I'm just a little bit burned out. I'm so tired,
After Michael?
After Max. After Max. So I wasn't really sure. I had a couple of good prepositions to dance with the good guys, but I was like, then I have to move. I don't want to move from United States. I was in a little bit of a la land at that point. And then he said, Tony is very smart.
Where were you guys at the point? You were already in LA or still New Jersey?
No, I was still in New Jersey. Yeah.
So your basically whole dancing career, when you came to United States, you stayed in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, yeah. New Jersey. I mean, New York, we went a lot to New York for lessons. But yes, New Jersey. And Max is from New Jersey. Tony lived in Connecticut. But I mean,
Max was born in United States?
No. Max is from Ukraine, Odessa.
Odessa, okay.
So they immigrated when he was maybe 13.
Okay, so very young.
Very young. They immigrated with the parents. So see, I immigrated on my own. But coming back to Tony, Tony is very smart. I have a huge respect for him. I learned a lot when I danced with him. I say
what? Business?
It's business. How to
things?
talk to people. I call it politically correct. Let's put it this way. It's just very smart.
Yeah.
So the way he approached it, the right things he said, because I told him I don't think if I want to compete anymore. So I and then as the conversation continued, I said I also don't want to leave the country. And then the end result was, he goes, "Would dance American rhythm with me?" And I went, "American rhythm? Why would I dance American rhythm?" Yeah. And okay, I'm sorry guys, and maybe gonna sound vain, but that's exactly what I said. I said, I'm gonna put my foot down on the floor and I already won. What am I competing in? And he said to me, I thought you just told me you don't want to compete. And I went, oh.
Tricked
he goes, let's have a tryout. And I still went, I'm like, I don't want to have a tryout with you. He goes, why? I'm like, let me think about it. Because you are the only person I would dance American rhythm with. Because he was the best at that point. And I was like, I just need to decide whether I do
want to or not,
or don't want to.
Yeah.
So I talked to a couple of coaches, and they literally
Who
told
you
me
talk to?
Aspen and Greg Moswick. Who else did I talk to? It was maybe Alan Tonsberg at that point. There was quite a few. And Aspen is one of those people said, listen, you are not done dancing.
Yeah.
You just burned out from everything that happened, the Latin and this. He goes, just go dance American rhythm, do your thing, and then come back to Latin.
Yeah.
And so I called back Tony and I said, okay, I'm going to do this one competition.
The
World
Worlds.
Championship.
Yeah.
And I said, for fun.
Mm.
And I said, are you sure? Because you just won nationals in USDC, which is September. We are in October.
Well, you told him that he won.
No, he just won national championship in September.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You told him, okay, you just won
you
this
just
one.
won.
Yeah.
And here I am. I don't promise you a long-term partnership, but I want to do this one event.
Think
for fun. Think before you agree, because, with Ina, you might continue your career. He goes, I want to dance with you, and that's that. Let's do it. And I said, I'm doing it for fun. You better make sure it's fun.
Yeah.
And the rest is history. Honestly, this was the best decision that I ever made in my entire dance career. And I never wanted to go back into international Latin afterwards. He was amazing. He, like I said, again, very smart.
Were you romantically involved
Never.
with Tony?
No,
Never.
Tony we were always friends since I immigrated. We met at our very first competition.
Yeah.
So people talked about it they want for years. No, Tony were just always.
I have no clue. That's why I was asking, because I have no backstory on that.
No, never. So Tony and I, but we were always very close.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you're close, you always hang out. People talk.
Yeah.
So Tony allowed me to be me. Let's put it this way. He put me on this pedestal.
Yeah.
And literally said, what do you want?
Yeah.
And we got together. It was 5 weeks. He goes, the quickest way, let's just learn my routines and dance. I'm like, no. No, we're doing it the way I think.
And the song in my head is,
yeah,
I'm gonna be me.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna be me.
Yeah, I can't dance somebody else's routines.
There you go.
So we put it all together. It took 5 weeks. And we competed.
Yeah. How many couples at that time were competing?
I don't know, but probably
3 rounds, 4 rounds?
4 rounds, maybe, yeah. Like, it's never really bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's it. And it was really, really
So you
good.
won twice, the Worlds.
Yeah, Worlds. And, I mean, for me, as a dancer, as a person, when some people retire unhappy because they didn't get that little result they wanted. Because like even if you retire 10 times vice champion, you're still not quite,
Yeah.
So I retired from dancing happy.
Why you say that? Because of the result or because of fulfillment of who you are as a dancer?
Fulfillment of who I am as a dancer, and finally,
and the result was a bonus.
The result was a bonus, and finally getting into a partnership where you have this absolute mutual respect for each other, and that was the most amazing experience. You didn't have to butt heads anymore. You're on the same page.
So you never argue with Tony?
Not once. We had a one time, because he's a Muslim and he was fasting, where they don't eat from a sunrise to sundown. Yeah, and we were during Dancing with the Stars and had to practice, and we came in and it was something, and I literally went, okay, you just gotta eat.
Yeah.
That's it. One time we had, in the beginning, our first 5 weeks where I couldn't get some timing in Mambo, right? Because it's different, and I was getting frustrated, and he literally said to me, I'm not gonna dance with you when you're angry. Go and walk it out or something. And that's it.
Wow.
That's like these 2 examples of our years of dancing together and practicing.
Kids, take notes.
Yes. Mutual respect is very important.
But you had all kinds of things, right? Like with Max, you were like butt heads and going and this and that. With Tony, it worked out totally different.
But you hope as you get older, you learn, right? You hope.
learn and you wiser
Right.
and this and that.
But how many couples do we still see argue
Yeah,
even
yeah,
if they are already in their late 30s?
Yeah.
Right? It's like I watch it, I look at it and I'm like, this is like a comedy show. Right? So I got to experience it in my late 20s, that partnership, which is, I would say, ideal. I wish everybody have that type of a partnership where you help each other, you learn from each other, you ask a person, okay, what do you need? What can I do for you? Versus like, you're on my way, you're pulling me, you're pushing me, and allowing that freedom of dance.
But I understand what you're saying, but it's not just that though, right? As a person, yes. But dance-wise, when you're in it, you sometimes don't see it.
Of course
And
you don't.
Exactly.
You just feel it, right? But
let's say, okay, you were dancing with Max. You didn't have that with Max. Why would you say that? Why would you?
Okay,
would you
because
think
when you make a
was it that?
mistake, the other person could react to it negatively, right? So it reflects on you of how you feel about it. Okay, so when you make a mistake and the other person goes, okay, it's okay, let's try it again, that's very different. Or if you make a mistake and they even go beyond and say, okay, I see you're not comfortable, what can I help you with? That's a whole other level.
Or let's change the step or adjust the step.
Exactly. Or let's adjust it, let's change it, what do you need? So Tony and I got to such a freedom of dance where we actually didn't feel like we ever make mistakes because everything was accepted. He literally was telling me, Len, you went backwards instead of forward. I go, so what? He goes, no problem. So we were adjusting.
So next level shit.
Yes. Yeah. It's that level of dancing where I wish.
But this is what makes you free though, no?
Yes. Yeah. Literally, him and I got to the point that nothing you do is wrong. It's like going social dancing. When you social dance, even there is no mistakes. You adjust
rules,
to the situation that you are in.
Exactly.
And Tony and I experienced that during our competitive years. Amazing. And that was amazing. So that's why I'm saying, I'm going to repeat myself. I wish every single person that competes could experience that. Yeah. Because there's nothing better than that you just dance. Like
you wish for them to experience that.
Yes, I do. And I teach that. I try to teach people it's not about right or wrong. It's about how to adjust when certain situations are happening, how to react to it, how not to get upset with it. There's never a right thing. Yeah. It's dancing. It's still art. Yes, of course it's sport. But this is something we do since we're kids and we love it. Why don't we ever get to the point of full enjoyment of what it is that you're doing? Because there's very small percentage that gets there. So I consider myself very lucky to be able to
was it luck or was it also you being smart? Or was it again being in the right place, right time?
I guess it's a formula, because if you're not knowledgeable dancer, you won't be able to do those adjustments. So you need to know how to make that happen.
That you have
Pablo
on the
Picasso
website.
Right.
It's
learn rules like a pro and break them like an artist.
There you go.
Pablo Picasso. That's my favorite quote.
This. I love this quote.
Yes.
Is that you?
Yes, with the red hair.
I didn't recognize you. You look
there
so
you
different.
Go.
I like that quote. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist.
Here you go. That's where the freedom of dance comes in. So if you get stuck in a rule game, you'll never experience the artistic side. Yeah. If you're too artistic and you don't learn the rules, it never looks right. Yeah. So it's that combination is what allows you.
What do you think needs to come first?
Both at the same time. Sorry. So you see, it's...
No, I don't know. I'm asking you your opinion, right? Like, what do you think?
It died.
Fuck.
I think we're talking for too long.
No. It's just 1 hour, 45 minutes. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
We'll go with that.
Let me check this camera.
Yes, do.
Still going. Let's keep going.
Okay.
So it's okay.
I'm trying to adjust this mic. It doesn't like me. See, it's going lower. I have to go do this. Ooh. Okay, here you go.
You'll see my ass over there. I will cut it. So let me ask the question one more time. So what do you think comes first?
I honestly think both at the same time, but yes, I understand when the kids just start dancing, we have to teach them the timing, the steps, the rules, the technique. Yes, I guess in that sense that comes first. But when they become good enough, we need to start teaching the other stuff too.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel we sometimes do that too late.
Got it.
When they already become much more mature dancers.
Yeah.
And then they get so hang up on coaches that saying this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. And this is where I inspire of how I teach. Yes, I know the rules.
Yeah.
But I quite often teach people how to bend those rules, how to get yourself out of a situation where you know you're already in the wrong position.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see how to make that pretty, how to make yourself feel good about it. What can you do when you're already there? Because you can't.
This is so interesting you saying that. Because knowing your story right now already, right? And what you went through actually led you to become a coach of this sort.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I see it so clearly and it's so interesting to me, and it just like, yeah, I guess it makes sense.
Because people always try to box you in.
Yeah.
And outliers are the people who don't want to be boxed up.
Yeah.
And you need to make your own decisions.
Now, would you say, does it come from very young age when your mother was like boxing you in?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you either have it or you don't. I think some people have it. Some people learn to have it.
Yeah.
Some people just rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you're getting emotional asking me.
Or,
asking the question,
anything right now that has to do with mom is hard because it's recent. But it's not just her. It's a system as well. So you see, again, the best part about being in the United States right now, that you have choices.
Yeah. Which
coach you're going to go to. How do you want to be coached? Because if you don't want to be with a coach who does this, you can change them. And that's amazing.
Tilt it a little bit.
Right?
Yeah.
So back then we didn't have that choice.
Yeah.
Here you do. You want it to be more tough, you find a coach like that. You want somebody to tell you.
Yes, I get it about the choice.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you know what works for you? Maybe you think, oh, you want a nice approach and you never...
Go and try it. That's it. You want to win a lottery?
What if you don't? What if you don't want to
but that's
try
what I'm
it
saying.
and you just go to the coaches that are nice?
Then you don't really want it. That's the thing. So like I said, if you want to win a lottery, what do you need to do? You need to get off that chair and go buy yourself a ticket, right? Will you win a lottery or not? We don't know, but at least you tried. People quite often say, action. You need to, something doesn't work, change it. Something maybe works, but then you got stuck.
Yeah.
So we plateaued. We can't just grow constantly. it happens. Little growth, and then we stop. Little growth, and then stop. And sometimes you feel...
So the progress is like stair effect, right? You're progressing, but you go in plateau, and you jump.
Boom.
And plateau, jump.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. So when you're in that moment, then something needs to change.
Yeah.
That means, it doesn't mean change your whole entire team, no, but it means you need some kind of a new information.
Yeah.
Something that will change
not
the
even
way...
information, because maybe the information is the same or similar, but a different way of given to you.
Right. This different perspective. Like, for example, that person for me was Ruud Vermeer. Where he will, instead of mechanical way of how to live your arm, will explain to you about air around your body. Or we talk about chakras or Havana connections or no connection at all. That's a different thing. See, and that's what I'm saying. You need to find some kind of inspiration somewhere else and bring it in. Yeah. So, like I said, you want to do a better paso, for example, go take flamenco classes.
Yes.
That will inspire you a lot.
Individuals, like for you maybe, the motivation is white wine. Right. No, I'm joking, but you know what I mean? For me, the motivation is whiskey.
Okay.
But you come to me and say, listen, this white wine, this is such a combination. This is such a motivation for me. If you try it, it will work. You know, it will work. And I'm telling you, no, I'm like a whiskey guy, and this is my motivation. So it's obviously not about alcohol, but you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but that's different.
This is what I wanna know from you.
Okay, let me think if I understand it correctly. Okay. There's another part of it. Let's say if I know who I am as a dancer, don't change that.
There we go.
So if I like wine and you like whiskey, don't change my wine. Drink your whiskey. But it doesn't mean we cannot drink them together.
No, I understand that.
Does that make sense?
What I was asking.
But help me, if I can finish it, help me to make my wine better. That's what I'm saying. In the situation of dancing, sometimes, which is another thing that I'm sorry I feel is missing, couples come to the coach and they find everything that's wrong with them or everything they don't do, versus sometimes I torture my couples with the question, what are you good at? What are you good at right now? And a lot of them can't answer. They'll give me a huge list of what they want to be or what they don't want to do versus what are they good at. And I think
it's always negative, always the dawns, always the mistakes.
Yeah, but I mean they will be there, but if we're going to the end of your career, you need to know what you're good at. Yeah. You must. It's not even a question. Yeah. And you have to capitalize on it and make it even better. Of course, yes, fix things that don't work, change things, but there becomes smaller picture on a grander scale, because when you do something that you already feel you're good at, and we're talking obviously years and years and years and years to get to that point, your dancing is different. Yeah. You dance from your soul. You no longer dance from your muscles or basic steps or whatever it is. You come out on that dance floor. And people ask quite often, what do you think about when you dance? Competitions, right? I'm like, I don't think. There's two most important things for me in the world when I dance competitions. Music. What is it that I'm hearing? Yeah. How can I relate to what I'm hearing? Yeah. And where my man is. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's it. And if he goes the wrong direction, for me, it's not the wrong direction. I go where he goes, because it harmonically looks better than if I would do the right thing. Yeah. You see what I mean? So, and at the end of the day, as a couple, we win. Make sense? Yeah. Versus like fighting against each other.
Now, would you say because this is your job as a follower, to be politically correct, follower, or being a woman and really, because he gives you the lead, right? So your job is not really I mean, it is to, I mean, do it correctly, but if he changes the direction, your correct step should be backward, not slightly diagonal or whatnot, right? Is it? There we go.
There you go.
I want to
No.
go to the bottom of it.
I believe that we have two different jobs.
Okay.
So
In the partnership.
In the partnership. Man, okay, I'm going to say a man and a woman.
Sure.
I'm just going to go with my thing.
Yeah.
Man's job is to change the timing,
Yeah.
change the direction,
Yeah.
provide the space,
Yeah.
create the frame. Because they're all big and grand, and that's what makes it masculine.
Got it.
Women's job to keep the timing, to keep the direction, right? Fit into the space that was given, right?
So if it's small, you gotta
Get
manage. If you're big, gotta manage, right?
Yes.
You gotta feel it, right?
You gotta
right,
feel
right.
it.
Yeah.
You gotta adjust to whatever the space has been
Yeah.
provided. If you have space, take it. If you don't, sneak in.
Yeah.
Right? Now,
I
but
remember the lesson with
Right.
you. We were
But-
talking about that.
so yes, that's the gist of it
Yeah,
for me.
yeah.
But in the end of the day, if I really say to people, just listen carefully to what I said, change lady's direction, change her timing.
Yeah.
It means she is already going.
Yeah.
Because the thing that's happening in ballroom dancing, they say, wait for me, I'm leading,
yeah,
I'm leading.
Yeah, yeah.
I am not supposed to wait for you. We have a third factor in our lead and follow,
Yeah.
which is music.
Yeah.
Music is going, then I can say, think faster.
Yeah.
What it is that you... So, and all of that in combination, lead and follow is the hardest
Yeah.
subject because I don't think we're all on the same page in that regard, and it's all
You mean
personal.
all of us, like men and women, or dancers in general?
Dancers in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
So it's like there are some people that I talk with and we're so on the same page. I was like, oh my God, this is
Yeah.
it, right? But what I learned over the years,
Talking
and
to
this is
people,
talking to
judges,
people
and so on.
that- yeah.
Oh, she's a judge as well.
Yeah.
We forgot
what
that.
I learned over the years, dancers, strong dancers, men dancers, they just let their lady dance.
Mm.
Do they lead? Of course they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course they do. But the more you speak to successful guys who would you think, oh, I'm all macho,
Yeah.
they just like, I just let her do whatever
Mhm.
and I dance with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like, because in the end of the day, if you look at it this way, you're the leader, I'm the follower. You leading me. I am doing something. So it means you need to know what I'm doing, how I want it to be done, and when I want it to be done.
Yeah.
So you can't just tell me, follow me and wait.
Yeah.
So you see, this is what I'm saying. It has to go in the reverse. And this is where it goes back to Tony. It's like, okay, where are you going? When it's happening? How do you want it done? And
Yeah.
then, yes, you produce it from your body and from your
Mhm.
timing, but it's a little bit in that reverse. You see
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So couples that get to that level, they are extremely comfortable dancing with each other. So
Yeah.
it stops being a fight. Because the hard part about lead and follow, everybody's complaining about it because it's too much, not enough. I feel you, I don't feel you. So once you get to knowing exactly what the rules are, and again, you said, if you go more than what you usually go, what is my job as a female?
Yeah.
My job as a female to make sure that I go as much as you do, or if I'm stuck, still do my job and not just stand there,
Yeah,
wait for
yeah.
you, and complete it
Yeah.
with whatever it is that I have to do. Only then we'll look good as a
But
couple.
that's also
It's hard.
on the individual level. You gotta be so skillful and
Yes.
know your craft that you're
Yes.
able to produce that. This is where my next question comes
Yeah.
in. For pro-am, right?
Oh, yeah, pro-am is very different.
It's very different,
Yes.
right? But all those people, like pro-am students, right? They wanna do that on a certain level and so on. And you have some amazing pro-am dancers, right?
Right. Some of them,
But
yeah.
I'm always explaining to the students, or when I have workshops or whatever, because everybody is like, I want to do this. I want to do this timing, 3/4, quarter, and half, or whatever, and this, right? And I'm telling you, okay, first you need to know the steps, the actual figure, and this. But everybody want to skip that, and they don't understand that to get to the level, you gotta follow certain, right?
I mean,
so what
you
we're
have
talking,
to learn.
yes,
2
but what
plus
we're
2
talking
is
about,
4.
what you're talking about, you all, of course, you are, world champion and this and that, and you had long career and education in dancing, right?
Right.
So we're talking on a level where, you had all those steps completed.
Right. We were talking on a high level competitive.
I just want to make that very clear, because sometimes people.
Well, here's the thing about pro-am world. It's similar in a sense, because when we teach those figures, we explain to the girls, this is the timing and this is the direction you have to go to.
Yeah.
And they're already adults.
Yeah.
So it gets registered.
Yeah.
And then it's very hard to change.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is different but similar in a sense of, you say, okay, this is what happens when it goes correctly.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do when I go more left.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do when I go more right.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to do when I don't go.
Yeah.
And this is what you're going to do when I'm on the other side of the floor. How many people do that? Almost none. And that's what I'm saying. So they learn only one way. And if suddenly during the competition you change directions because of the floor craft, they freak out.
Yeah.
Why? Because they don't have information of how it should be done when things go other way around. And I don't even want to say it's a mistake, because it's not. It's adjusting to the situation you're in.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Even if there is no couples, maybe you lost your balance.
Yeah.
Maybe you slipped. Maybe something. So they don't know how to do that, because quite often we don't teach them that.
Yeah.
And that's, on you and me. So I try to do that, because as an adult, a lot of them, what's the right way?
Yeah.
My answer is there is no right way. You can do it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. Here's the 5 ways for you. I understand it's confusing.
Yeah.
But each 5 represents the reason why you want to do certain
Well,
thing
but
a
then
certain
we
way.
talk, okay,
Make a choice.
Yeah. But then we talk about, okay, what level is the student and so on. So it goes in a...
It could work even if you do crossbody lead.
No, I understand. But,
Right.
But it's like, if you don't even know the figures and you're just starting out and so
No,
on
I
and
mean,
so
I
forth,
guess
like
when
you
you said-
gotta have...
Right. When you said pro-am, I already assumed we're talking about girls that competing. If you said to me
over
social dancing,
the whole spectrum of it, like from beginner, newcomer to open gold.
right.
Right, the whole spectrum, because it's really like people that just starting out, or they may be like dancing for a long time but never dance competition, but going into stuff that you just talked about, partnering and this and that, and they want to work with you, and they never dance competition, just dancing social,
Right.
but they want to like really... You understand what I'm saying?
I
like
understand.
It's
I even
just
see it in your body language with that whole hand situation. I teach, when it comes down to that, I teach people a lot that most of the lead is actually visual. You see it before you feel it.
Yeah.
Now, driving has a certain signals that mean a certain things. If you don't know what yellow, green, and red means, you have no reason to be on the road, right? So in dancing, quite often we just make people feel, but we don't explain what that means, right? So feel, it's green light. How do I know it's green or not, right? I gotta see it. You
feel it,
right? So you feel it. You just feel it, and you press the button.
feel it.
So
in your body that it's green.
Yes. To come back to your, so if I go on the whole spectrum to begin with, I would literally explain it simply. This signals means turn to the right. this signals means turn to the left. When I turn my body, you do this. So I don't actually teach him physical dependency on a man or a woman.
Yeah.
So I teach them how to pay attention to what is actually happening in your partner's body. And just by them doing those signals, they are able to follow without that advanced feeling that you're talking about. Push and pull. Walter Laird said to us, I was fortunate enough to have lessons with him at like 17, 18, 19. Then he said, lead and follow is not an action. It's not a production.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like push and pull specifically, he said. It's something that you would experience when two partners are moving opposite directions.
Yeah.
So I feel sometimes we concentrate on too much on you need to do this. And that's what I said. I understand it because I see what you're doing versus none of this. What are you going to do in your body for your partner to understand what's happening?
Got it.
And the same thing for girls. It's like, what are you going to do to make your partner understand that you need to go another direction? So it's complicated. Like I said, it's complicated.
Got it.
I think I yapped too much.
No, that's fine. That's
too
fine. No worries.
It's like that subject.
Well, I wanted this specific thing because...
Right. You're going to have to cut half of the interview. We talk too much.
No, it will be all there. So before we go, because we already...
Over time. We're over
2
time.
hours. No,
my
it's always
God.
about 2 hours, 2 hours 15.
Yeah.
So we actually in norm. So what for you as a audience makes a show when you see two couples, not talking about technical, just from, let's say you never danced before, what would you say makes a show amazing, beautiful, touching? What is you as audience, you as a Elena Grinenko?
Yes.
Not the world champion, but the
just me as a person going to see some show that still has to do with music and dancing.
Okay, music and dancing.
Yeah, well, because we're talking about our industry. When what I see agrees with what I hear, then I start to feel.
Gotcha.
That's it. That's my answer.
Thank you very much. This is amazing. Thank you. That's the shortest answer I ever had on the podcast, and it's by far the most beautiful.
There you go. I mean,
and
I
very
can go
helpful.
to explanation, but I don't need to.
You know why I'm asking? Because I'm asking not for dancers actually.
Yes.
Well, also for dancers, but for the wedding dance, because people many times they go in and they go like, yeah, we need to learn to dance and this and that. I was like, yeah, actually,
No, we dance because of music.
Yeah.
And the music is most important aspect of the dancing. So that's what I'm saying. When I see what I hear, that interpretation of the musicality through your body, that makes me feel.
Gotcha.
If you can dance beautifully, but without listening to the music, that does nothing to me. I could say, oh, amazing legs, great hip action, fabulous dancing, but
I still want to talk about so many things, and I have so many questions to you, but we already
maybe on another podcast.
second part podcast. No, because it's very interesting to talk to you, especially about your journey, because I already noticed so many possible life lessons.
I see.
And that's my next question.
Next question, life lessons.
What life lessons you've learned following the dancing and experience the dancing and being on this journey?
After I stopped competing, you mean?
Maybe during you realize something, or you realize something afterwards. I don't know. All of the above.
It's I think like first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade, right? There's always something different that happens that makes you either continue down the path or change the path. So
or realize something.
Something, change something. But I would say don't regret any of your decisions. Be persistent. Know what you want. not what other people tell you need to do. You need to know what you want, and then you find people to help you achieve it. And that is the most satisfying way. That's, I guess, what I learned through my life journey at this point, that
But was it specifically in dancing? Because you experienced in dancing, or?
I guess I'm referring to dancing, but that rolls over to your life as well.
Of course, yeah.
It's just in generally, I think, and again, I don't want to sound bad, but a lot of people just float through life. So if you want to be unique, if you want to achieve something, you gotta be you. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to please people.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they don't like it. But there's gonna be someone who's gonna love it.
Did you ever encounter a person that didn't like you?
Of course.
It's hard to believe. I'm joking.
No, of course, it's normal for any people.
But
like
you've changed
you
a lot
like.
since when I came to US and I first met you, and now you changed a lot.
Okay, in which way?
Nothing is right or wrong.
Ooh, good one. He's learning.
I'm learning. No, you change you. What you were talking about, right? Like this. Come on, do it. Da, 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 da. You were more that way when I met you, and you became much softer.
Well, like I said, we learn, we live, we learn, right? So those things come with knowledge, right?
Lena, I just gave you a compliment. Just say,
thank you.
Just say,
okay,
thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
So that's it.
So me being softer is a compliment. Thank you.
No, it suits you also.
Okay.
Yeah. It's really beautiful to see, this energy, like, and I see this change. So and now knowing your story, it even more so like has an impact on me.
All right.
So thank you very, very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It was so much fun to listen to you and hear the story. And again, maybe we need to do part 2 because I have more questions.
Now you have more questions.
Throughout,
right.
What you told me, I was like, I would like to, in my head, right, like calculating situation and this and that, being paranoid about my technical stuff. I'm like,
the
okay,
camera dying.
I want to go that way, but no, this is so interesting, but I cannot deviate too much from,
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. This was fun. Sorry if I said anything wrong.
No, you didn't. And you didn't swear a lot, which, I'm usually doing, but I was, very, very happy. And this is...
Zin zin.
There we go.
Done.
Perfect. So, this camera is not working. So, thank you very much for listening, everybody. This is Dance Art and Life podcast. Always was, is, and will be a judgment-free zone. I'm your host, Daniel the Gypsy, and I see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. I like this.